Hey, what's up everyone? Ill Factor from beatacademy.com. And in this video, I want to share with you how I use Reason's BVX Vocoder plugin, not just as a creative tool for my vocals, but helps me create innovative ways to change my arrangement and my workflow. All right, so here's a project that I'm currently working on in Ableton Live. And so I'm going to take it from the first verse, which just has drums and vocal at the moment.
Giving it all, 'cause I can't kill off this feeling. I'm floating and I'm dreaming. Let's shake it all. I want it all.
Now, without some chord progressions, we really don't have some harmonic context for that vocal melody. So you can have some chord progressions, and I do have them here with the keys and pads. So I have Rhodes and pads playing.
Giving it all, 'cause I can't kill off this feeling.
And that's cool, but what if we had the drums provide that harmonic context? So we'll mute the keys, and what we're gonna do is use the BFX plugin from Reason. I'm dragging and dropping that right onto the drum track here, and I'm gonna use the vocoder to create that harmonic context.
Giving it all, 'cause I can't kill off this feeling. I'm floating and I'm dreaming. Let's shake it all. I want.
So it's cool. It's providing the chord progression, but it's doing it rhythmically because it's being applied to the drums. I like that. And it's a great way to add support to the harmonic progression that I'm using in this arrangement. I might actually just have it vocals and vocoded drums alone because it's going to build more contrast to when everything else comes in. Now, let me walk you through how I have this set up. I have the actual BVX vocoded rack plugin on the drums. So this is the drum here. And so without it, we just have the blank drums.
Giving it all.
And then what I have is a MIDI channel underneath that vocoder drums so that I can go ahead and input the actual chords I want the drums to harmonically play. So the way to set that up is you want the output of the MIDI track in Ableton Live. Choose the track of the source material, which in this case would be Voco Drums. That's the name of that track. And in that track is the Reason plugin. So once I have that set up, I can then trigger my MIDI channel with any MIDI device I might have and replay the chords. So the chords that you're hearing are these. Then it's all about just going ahead and tweaking the plugin to get in the sound that you're looking for. So there's two different modes here. There's the vintage and modern. I'm currently using the modern mode, but what's cool about the vintage, and it's a typical mode that you would get with most common vocoder plugins, but they added some unique band here with the band counts. And with the amount of bands that you're using determines the amount of detail that you're going to be getting from your signal. So with the low band count, now we have some really cool features here, such as the spectral spread, which allows me to create some more width with this sound and actually giving some more room for the lead vocal to be dominating more in the middle of my mix. So let me just go ahead and solo the drums and the vocal alone.
'Cause I can't kill off this feeling. I'm floating and I'm dreaming. Let's shake it all. I want it all.
So that's pretty cool. Then I have the gain curve turned on, and this allows me to kind of just shape the actual output of the vocoder signal. I can take away some of the low end here and just focus more on the mid-range.
'Cause I can't kill off this.
But since it's just going to be drums and vocal, definitely want to have some of that low end present.
'Cause I can't kill off this feeling. I'm floating and I'm dreaming.
What I'm going to be doing is automating some of these parameters as a way to create more emotion and contrast throughout my arrangement. So in Ableton Live, I'm going to go ahead and expand this plugin by hitting the icon between the wrench and the bypass. And I'm going to notice that there's a configure button that is now available to see. You're going to click that and then click any parameter within the plugin here. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust the decay time. So we'll click that and let's go right back in here. And so what I like about adjusting the decay time, it's a way to really create some drama with this vocoded signal. So the more decay we give it, the more open the sound is going to be. And then I'll just bring it right back to close it up as a transition from maybe the pre-chorus or from the verse to the pre. So let's check this out. And let's use that to transition between the first verse and the pre-chorus. So I'll go ahead and bring this up and lower that down. So here's where we
Waking up, I'm dancing here on my own, and the fragments light.
So then I can kind of just give a nice little open up here, insert phrases, and then bring it back down.
And the fragments light. I'm shining. It's big.
Another benefit of using BFX as a vocoder is that you have all the other resources inside the Reason ecosystem to use as well. So what I mean by that is I have a vocal track that I'm using the BFX vocoder on. And instead of using the synth carrier that comes within the BFX, we can choose external. And I'm going to be using a Reason instrument here, in this case, Europa. And I'm just going to make sure that the audio output of the Europa is routed to the external carrier input. And this is going to let me trigger the Europa, but then the Europa becomes the actual carrier signal for the vocoder. So then you have all the different parameters and whatever instruments that you're using as a carrier to tweak and create a unique type of sound with the vocoder as well. So I'll do the same thing. I'm going to have a MIDI channel routed to this effect rack so that I can trigger the Europa with my MIDI device. So once again, the sound is coming from the Europa synth. So any parameters that I change here affect the actual tone of the vocoded signal. Going back to the actual vocoder here, let's switch it back to synth carrier so that we're using the actual internal synth carrier in the vocoder plugin. Then switching it to autoplay, so I don't actually need to trigger this with any other MIDI device or MIDI track. And then going to hit the to scale button and map out the notes that I want to actually focus in on, that I want this to automatically play. Now this is really cool to just add texture and a unique type of flavor to the vocal. So if I wanted to see what it would sound like blended in with the original vocal, I would just increase the mod output here. And then just messing around with the FM amount or whichever signal oscillator carrier that I'm going to be using. In this case, I am using FM feedback. And then using some unison that comes on board to widen up the signal. So I like the texture it's giving. Let me see what that sounds like with the rest of the vocals. So you see how using this vocoder plugin can not just add great texture to your vocals, but when used with any other instruments could be really helpful in creating some dynamics with your musical arrangements. Well, I hope this video was helpful and inspiring in any way. And as my gift to you for watching this video, I have a course that will walk you through the whole production process of producing your first song and how to share that song with the rest of the world. This course is yours absolutely free. Just click the link below in the description box or visit beatacademy.com/produce to have access to this course. And also, if you're looking for professional guidance to help you take that next step forward with your music production and could use a community to hold you accountable as well as some mentorship opportunities, well, then I want to encourage you to visit beatacademy.com and take advantage of all the resources that I have available for you there. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.